In March 2023, you became the first deputy mayor of Southeast Asian Heritage. What moved you towards public service and what was your biggest adjustment stepping into civic service?
You need to be in the system to make the change. The support of the entire team. So I was very vocal. And within City of Ryde and within Ryde, basically, I had the support of Victor Domnello, who was our previous MP, Jordan Lane, who's our current MP. He supported me in ways that I couldn't even imagine. I didn't come from a political background. I knew neither of them before I joined the party. I literally didn't even know which branch to join at that time. I just filled out the form and sent it in, and I was allocated the mark right there.
What does Sanatan Dharma means to you personally, and what does the temple community mean to you?
For me, I'm a Hindu. I come from India. I see that's the Sanatan Dharma as almost the basis of my soul, right? Like it's just something Hindu. The first time we celebrated Holi as a family was literally in my backyard when my daughter was 4 and my younger one was 2. And when we did that, it just, I still have photos of them running around with color on their face. And I remember just flashbacks to my Holi, how I grew up. And then when we did Holi on a much bigger scale in Meadowbank, it was awesome to see all these kids. They were running around with color. They were running around with, called the color run, right? There's something called as a color run. It was, and everybody understood, and they were pani puris and buying color and were dancing. There was a little dance area. It was fun.
Namaste and welcome to Sahyogi podcast. Today we are joined by someone whose story reflects the word Sahyogi beautifully in real life. Shweta Deshpande arrived in Sydney in 2002, built a life in North Ryde, and over the past 2 decades has become one of the most active members of the Indian community in a part of Sydney, which is Ryde. She's a mother of 2, founding member of Indians in the city of Ryde, and in March 2023, she became the first deputy mayor of Southeast Asian Heritage, again in the city of Ryde. Behind all of this, there's someone who values the Marathi heritage, values the family and culture deeply, and quietly serves the wider community in ways many do not see. Shweta ji, welcome to the podcast. So, what I'd like to start away with, many people know your public role, they see your face everywhere, but at times people don't see the person behind. So, I'd love to know, who is Shweta behind her public role?
Whatever you see in public is basically what I am. There isn't a front face or a different face. I'm pretty chilled is how I would put myself. My family might say differently. I can tell you that. I grew up in a pretty well-to-do family in Bombay, came down to Australia. I have a great network of friends and family whom I probably connect a lot with. And for me, that's my world. My world is pretty small. My world is my husband, my kids, my my friends, my sisters, my dad. And the person is just that. It's what you surround yourself with. So that's how I would see myself.
Absolutely. They always say you're the average of 5 people you surround yourself with. So,
That's what.
when you're surrounding yourself with family, you're just building your roots and culture there. You arrived in Sydney in 2002. Now, what do you remember the most and how did you build?
I was fortunate enough, actually. I had my sister in Sydney. She'd married and to a Indian Australian, and they had a wider family in Australia. I moved here with my husband. We actually got married the day before, and he moved here, and 2 weeks later, I was here. So we came here as students. I think the sense of belonging has taken a long time. every day is a bigger step in belonging. It didn't happen one day of I landed and the next day I belonged. I think there was a big journey to my entire state of um, feeling at home, missing home, finding, that balance between am I Indian, am I Australian, am I now Indian Australian, am I just Australian? Like,
Yeah.
I think all of us go through that, right? When we move countries and early migrants, early immigrants, early people that move continents have still gone through that same journey. So I think it took me time, but I think every time I land in Sydney Airport, I go, I'm home. That's when you know you're home.
Spot on. I can't tell you how many people tell me, despite being here 3 to 5 years, Ashish, we're gonna move back and settle back. So, and after about 8 to 10 years, that thought fades away.
It is a journey, and it's where you see your family, I think, at the end.
Spot on.
You keep trying with your friends, your family, your parents, your sisters. Well, for me, be quite lucky. I have that surround over here. So.
Deshpande is a Marathi surname. Now, what Marathi traditions you've carried into your Australian home?
Oh, even when we moved to Sydney, Ganesh festival or Ganpati is what I remember my childhood as. And when the kids were there, we wanted to continue that tradition. It's something my sister was here previously 20, 30 years ago. She's been doing that. So we now do Ganpati at home always. Some of the other things like Gudi Padwa, the Sera, Dev Makar Sankranti, we wish each other, but we probably don't do similar traditions. I still love my Godavaran hat, which is my standard, and Modak. That's my. But those are things that I think my kids now know around food.
Yeah, yeah.
I think India is made up of so many cultures, and food is the centerpiece, and our festivals are the centerpiece. That's how I build my Marathi heritage.
My 15-year-old, when we go to the eating outside, especially to places like Chatkas and all and Bella Vista, so I've not been paid to say that. So, um, you said you've got 2 kids as well. So, um, tell us about kids and family and your third kid, which I'm assuming your husband and my wife always say that. So I'm admitting it openly. So over to you.
I don't have to call my husband a kid, actually. To a large extent, my kids were teenagers now. They're 11 and 14. They have great time with their dad. My husband's a complete hands-on husband. So he's the one who cooks food at home. I would starve. Otherwise, I can tell you.
Damn it, I've lost so many brownie points.
He does the cooking. He makes sure our house is in in working condition. I can say, with the pool and the garden and all the other stuff. I think with the girls, they're very independent, and I would like to say that they see the two of us, my husband and I, work together as equal partners at home. There is nothing called we're both adults, we both run the house. And the girls see that and they contribute in their own little ways that they can. But that's our little house. I can say nothing goes perfectly in my place. There's always washing to be done, but we'll leave that.
Amazing. And I think that's what fuels the fire outside as well. Seems like you are supported well at home. So again, a big thanks to your family as well.
Yeah, big thanks to my family. I think earlier in our conversation, as I was saying, is the bigger your safety net, the higher you can jump, right? So I'm very, very fortunate that I have a family that helps me, a husband, kids, my sisters, my dad, even relatives who basically go jump as high as you can. That's all I've learned, right? You just say yes, you jump. If you fall, you learn. If you don't fall, you just jump higher. So my safety net is pretty broad. I should tell you, I've failed more times than I've succeeded. So
You've got way more experience than others. Just talking about the public role, and it's not easy to add value somewhere, which in a way is rewarding in not monetary terms, but maybe from that conscious, from that desire to add value more than anything else. And most people don't see that. So, what moved you towards public service, and what was your biggest adjustment stepping into civic service?
In 2016, we had a couple of issues with our home. And for me, as I said, my family is my base, right? And we could feel the discomfort that a lot of migrants face. And when you face that discomfort, whether it's racism, whether it's not belonging, whether it's any of those, you kind of go, what can I do? And I'm a doer. I can tell you, I'm a worker bee. I go out there and I want to make it, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, anywhere, I want to make an impact. So that's when in 2016, I joined the Liberal Party. For me, that was the party that aligned with uh, not necessarily values, but more necessary with the change I wanted to bring. And one of the big quotes I had learned, and previously I used to volunteer, you would do things from the outside, you do not for profits. But what I hadn't done, and the quote that made a change, was you need to be in the system to make the change that you want to be. See, standing outside, pointing, giving advice in the best of intentions, it's very, very difficult to make the change that you want to have. You can just be on the outside and you can still say, oh, I wish this was better. But that's when I joined. And as I joined, I was obviously not the shrinking flower. I'm not one of those. So I was very vocal. And within City of Ride and within Ride, basically, I had the support of Victor Domnello, who was our previous MP, Jordan Lang, who's our current MP, and they supported me in ways that I couldn't even imagine. I didn't come from a political background. I knew neither of them before I joined the party. I literally didn't even know which branch to join at that time. I just filled out the form and sent it in, and I was allocated the North Right branch. And the two of them have actually been the cornerstone of fueling my work within the community. Again, as a migrant who came as a student, we focus on our jobs, we focus on our family, we focus on making the impact we can within the little circle we have. They gave me a platform to be able to do more.
Yeah.
They taught me the inner workings. They taught me how to make these, develop how the political world works, how we make connections. I can tell you hand on heart, becoming a councillor was nowhere. Being an elected member was nowhere in my list of things.
So, who first suggested that you should run?
Oh, Jordan.
Right.
I was number 4 in one of the tickets, then I turned into a number 2 on one of the tickets, and then I turned into a number 1 in the last election. Being elected, coming to a whole new country as a migrant, as a student, moving, getting a decent job is pretty much where most of us still are.
Spot on.
Reach a barrier, like, oh, well, yeah, I found a leadership role, I'm sick. Then getting public service is a whole different world. It's a strata of society I've never had to deal with before. I work in pharmaceuticals. Most people are PhDs or pharmacists. They're very, very clever people.
Yeah. One thing that I can take on board is be the change you want to bring. So I think you've been the best example, and apparently Jordan must have seen some potential in what you were doing. So that is amazing, and that's I think how you can advocate and bring value to associate that culture and heritage, because culture's best shown when you bring the specificity where it comes from. In March 2023, you became the first deputy mayor of Southeast Asian Heritage. What did that moment mean to you?
The support of the entire team to vote for that was amazing, right? Like we're a group of Australians from different heritages, different cultures, different areas to vote for me in that leadership position. For me, that one instant is where belonging, I guess, happened. Is that you can come, you can do good work, have your integrity, uh, showcase that you really want to make a change. This isn't where I earn my living. This isn't where I gain friends or family. This is a place where I think I can genuinely contribute. And if you come in from that mindset, I found a lot of things move. I think there's a lot of stars that need to align as well. So yeah, it was an extremely proud moment for, I think, for the people that saw me in that role. And I didn't realize, I can tell you, I did not realize the impact of that role till I did do the role. There was an example, and I'm going to share this, where the mayor was unable to be part of a citizenship ceremony. And I had to take on that role of conferring citizenship and holding a citizenship ceremony in the city of Raleigh. Somebody who has taken citizenship to be able to give citizenship or be able to even say the words of welcoming citizens to Australia was uh, something that was quite beyond my realm of service, I believe. And when afterwards I had so many people come and talk about, it's so good to see someone from your background, by your heritage, be up there. We can see what difference we can do. We can belong. We don't need to be the outsiders. That makes a big difference, right? And yeah, so for me, thank you to Jordan, to Sarkis, to Trenton, Comment Mayor. They're extremely great at the support they provide me.
I strongly believe being the first, it's not about you, it's about everyone that comes after. So you've literally paved the way for so many others who see you as an inspiration. So good on you.
I step on shoulders that have laid the path much before me. Right? It's not. There's everyday people who came 20, 30, 40 years and have opened doors, have made it normal for people like us to be seen as
But I think
there.
having a path is one part, leading to that path is second. So, had you not faced what you faced, we would not be sitting here with you. So, now, you're a founding member of Indians in the city of Rye. What was the vision and what has it made possible?
Similar in citizenship ceremonies, right? We've had people from Indian backgrounds in Australia for years. In the city of Ryde, it's a growing population. And the more that we saw it, it was all very events based. So there'd be a Diwali somewhere, or uh, there'd be smaller festivals happening, but there was no single unit that talked about City of Ryde. And for me, I can be very clear that's my focus, City of Ryde, and how we can be together and how we can celebrate. And I was approached by this very young man, Deepak, whom a lot of you might know. And he was like, we do a lot of things within the city of Ryde with their friends. And I said, oh, I do a lot of things with my friends in the city of Ryde. And went, okay, how can we make this happen? So I take very minimal credit to the whole Indians in City of Ryde. I think Deepak, his friends, people like him, have actually made it alive. And I know that's how it is even possible to be sitting in front of you. It's the support that we've received in Indians in City of Ryde and social media, man.
I have received a lot of support from the community. I take pride in saying that I serve my community members with the right ethic um, and the right spirit. Um, Moreover, a strong community is built by people who choose to consistently show up, right? Um, Now, why is bringing Indian festivals to a wider public spaces important to you?
Oh, literally where people like to celebrate, right? And in India is a multicultural society. India, if somebody's celebrating Ganpati, it's not just the Maharashtrians celebrating Ganpati. Doesn't matter which area you're from, everybody celebrates. Similarly, in Sydney, they're a multicultural society. We all go celebrate Christmas. We all go celebrate the Persian, the Nowruz that has recently started, and the Chinese New Year, or and we go. Everybody celebrates Diwali
Yeah.
or everybody celebrates Ganpati. But it's impossible to do that if you have it as a little thing within your family. It's in what we normally do. It's great. But now it's become bigger than that. I love celebrating. I love dressing some of my friends up. I love answering questions. I think there is so many questions about everybody's heritage and culture.
Yeah.
And the more they see it, so we got Diwali every year. I
Yeah.
know we celebrated Holi through Indians in City of Pride. We did the first Garba last year. We did Ganpati. Uh, there's so many festivals.
Building our roots, getting in touch with our roots, belongingness, feeling that familiarity, and especially when we go for Diwali, we'll still give those gifts once in a year. Be it Christmas or Diwali. Once in a year, you give those gifts to all your near and dear ones. It becomes a reason to visit them at least once in a year with no agenda.
With no agenda. It's very important. I also like to add that it brings hints. For me, the first time we celebrated Holi as a family was literally in my backyard when my daughter was 4 and my younger one was 2. And when we did that, it just I still have photos of them running around with color on their face. And I remember just flashbacks to my Holi, how I grew up. And then when we did Holi on a much bigger scale in Meadowbank, it was awesome to see all these kids, didn't matter what heritage or background they were from, they were running around with color. They were running around with, it's called the color run, right? There's something called as a color run. It was, and everybody understood, and they were eating pani puris and buying color and were dancing. There was a little dance area. It was fun. Then we did the same thing with Garba, and it was
Yeah.
not just Indians participating in Garba. It was quite a few different cultures participating.
Yes.
So one big giant ball that we have on, right? So
Absolutely. And I think the kids, the younger they are, the more they enjoy the colors. Coming to kids, family, your professional career and learnings from that. So you carry a professional career, a public role, a family, two children, husband. We've covered that. How does your family make it work, and what did you had to let go more importantly?
I had to let go. I'll answer that one first. I had to let go of what previously was probably TV binge time. I think everybody has 24 hours, right? I don't get any extra hours than you do. We all do. I have ruthless prioritization. Ruthless. I am extremely clear on what I want to achieve during a day. And I have no problem saying no. So if it is outside the city of Bright, I do not see myself as a community leader. I do not see myself as being a community leader and being a whole face of India. I do not see my role in that space. Work is that pays my mortgage. So 100% of my time is work. And I love my work. My job is an extremely challenging, making a difference in healthcare. And I love that role. I've been in it for 20 years. My kids are lifeline. My husband's my lifeline. So there is very little I can do to change that. The community is the third space, which is purely for my selfish beliefs is I want to pay there so I can make a change. I am very clear on what change I want to bring. I cannot change the world. I cannot change society. I cannot change a lot of things. What I can do is contribute by being there at my council meetings on time, understanding what the city of Bright residents need, and putting my perspective to it. And that's where I see my role. I don't go beyond that. And that probably is The first time I got elected, I don't think I saw anybody in the first year because I went to every single event, went to everything because you don't know what you don't know. I was then able to learn that, okay, there are some things that I need to go for. Some things I have a very good team. It's 7 of us. So some things the other guys carry. Teamwork is absolutely essential.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, completely. I could not do it without what our current team in Council does. And we've got a great mayor, so he's very clear on priorities. And you can see where we all fit in and what our strengths are. So not everybody's lining up at the same place. So I think that there is no one clear answer, but definitely family support, teamwork, and having clarity on what you are contributing to is how I.
And I think the biggest learning I'll take from that is knowing when to say no so you can prioritize it better because the values become real when they show up in the compromises that we make. So, and I think you've been a true example of that because I'm still learning when to say no. My problems, I can't say no, and you are spot on. I can't leave my binge time either. So, and then there's always a struggle of time, but kudos to you. I see people who are successful, people who are able to manage time, are people who are able to let go of things that do not fit into that priority. So, really, I can't say more words, but you are an inspiration.
I've forgotten lunch for my kids a few times. I can tell you I slip up.
So, Ken, I think this is where you were saying that family jumps into support. So, they don't judge you, they still love you, they still support you. It's an equivalent to the community supporting as well. They're supporting your views, they're supporting what you're doing, and that's why you're still there.
No, look, I cannot, this is impossible without the support. It is impossible. All the things in the world that everybody can do, including you right now, you could interview anybody, anyone. You've chosen to have me here. So for me, that support is huge. Anybody that supports from the community, I am so grateful.
Now, dwelling upon the experience and the guidance, what would you tell young Asian, South Asian, or Australian women thinking about stepping into a leadership role?
There is no right or wrong way. You just have to step in. There is no comfortable way of stepping in. No matter how much you prepare, be very comfortable with the concept of being uncomfortable. And I've said this to a few people who've reached out. I've always said, any opportunity you're given, say yes. Put your hand up. Say yes. Experience as many things as you can. And I say that to my girls also. Everything that comes from school, I go at this point, there is no one path that you've got to select. Keep learning, keep choosing. I was in my early 40s by the time I even decided what I wanted to do. So for me, I think women tend to underestimate. They want to tick every single box of criteria before they put their hand up. Go for it. Learn on the job. Don't try and tick all the boxes.
Children may not always listen to what we say, but they'll absorb what we live. Which brings me to my next question. So, as a mother of two, what values do you most want the next generation to carry forward?
Integrity. I think integrity is my foundation value. Um, in whatever you do, make sure you are doing it because that is the best thing you think you can do without harming anyone, with good reason. Make the money. I never say it. You're there, you make the money, put your hand up, lead the leadership, be confident, ask for, be ambitious. For me, because I have girls, step one, be financially independent. My mom was financially independent. She was always be financially independent. For a woman, that is my base that I start with, and integrity. Work ethic, trust, all my other values will come through. But I think if you know you're doing the right thing, you'll sleep well at night.
Amazing. And if you have to name a second value, what would that be?
Love and trust. Like, don't go with distrust. Go in with trust. Let somebody else break the trust. But don't, like, I do not like being cynical in love. Go with trust. And everybody has a good intention. And that, I think, has helped me in life. I don't know if it's a value, but for me, trust is a big piece of my approach.
Value and behavior, but I cannot agree more. When we talking to real estate agents, not everyone's happy when I say that. So a lot of people say, we don't know whether he is saying right or not. And I said, let's go in with trust unless we find something that breaks our trust. And above all, when we are giving our trust to someone and they break it, they've lost a good, trustworthy person that otherwise could have supported them. So I cannot agree more. I literally follow these guidelines in my life as well. So considering we're part of temple, that's the community we're building. That's how we met as well. Um, I'm very fortunate for this instance, this moment that I'm sitting with you. But what does Sanatan Dharma means to you personally, and what does the temple community mean to you?
For me, I'm a Hindu. I come from India. I see that's the Malhotra Dharam as almost the basis of my soul, right? Like it's just something inbuilt. For me, religion is something more spiritual and religion per se. My husband's a Muslim. I'm a Hindu. My kids go to a Christian school. Very different aspect. For me, the temple and Sanatan Dharam is a very different aspect. Hindu is where people are coming in to find your community, to find the people that are like-minded, that you can have faith in, that you can find your spirituality in there. You grow with them, you find that connection, you find the belonging. The Sanatan Dharma for me is where your spirituality comes from. Is what is your soul focused on? When you come from India, you come from the Hindu uh, river, is how I call it. That's how the Hindus were named, if I'm not wrong. It's because we live next to the river. And for me, that's the basis of generations and not even, it is very difficult to put in words. It is something that when you sleep at night, you know where you belong. And there is no ups and downs. I celebrate everything from Ganpati to a Diwali to a Christmas. I have a Christmas tree at home and my present. My kids still believe in Santa, some of them. They have gifts. Our friends throw Eid parties for us. We celebrate most. I celebrate Nowruz also now. So for me, the Sanatan Dharma and the temple is the welcoming part of it. That's what we know. We welcome everybody. And the open-mindedness for me is extremely important.
And you very rightly said that Dharma is not just about prayers or one community, it's just how we live, serve, lead, and treat others. So, very well said. What does seva means to you?
Everybody does. Can I say? You don't need a position to do it. You're either, since the day that you're born, you are serving something. You're serving your community. As a baby, you're giving happiness to your children, to your parents. That's, you grow up with service as the
Yeah.
mindset.
True.
As you grow older, however, I believe we tend to make it a lot smaller. We go, no, no, my family, no, my friends, no, no, my house. Then it goes me. And I think breaking that a little bit and being more open to being out there, helping, volunteering is a core part of being an Australian. And seva is the same as volunteering. So whether you volunteer in your school's PNC, whether you volunteer for your kids' sport, whether you are a coach, whether you work for the Rotary, whether you're doing something for the temple, it is an essence of what Australia is based on. And in City of Ride, we actually have a volunteer recognition program and a volunteer recognition um, day. I think it's across Australia, if I'm not wrong. And that's why he chosen country that is so in tune with what our values already are around seva.
True, and it doesn't has to be big. It's just about showing up persistently with sincerity.
Consistency is so key. Uh, but choose your path. Choose one thing and then be involved. Don't stand on the sidelines. Is my only request to anybody listening is don't be a sideliner.
Well said. Going to another word that we hear a lot of times in the temple precinct is Sahyogi. So basically, Seva is support, Sahyogi is a supporter. But what does Sahyogi means to you, and how do you implement that in your day-to-day work and life?
For me, a Sayogi is a friend. So you're a friend of the temple, you're a friend of the Dharam, you're a friend of people around. So when you come in as a friend, you bring your values, you bring your ethos, you bring your mindset of being friendly, being there, being available, being empathetic. And the more seva you do, the more volunteering you do, the more you see of society, the more you understand yourself and where you can bring the benefits in. So for me, as a yogi is someone who is absolutely, for me, consistency is important because there is always fly by the seat, one thing and gone forever. So for me, that's probably my definition and difference. And I approach most things as non-transactional in my life.
Expectations with everything that you do. Having doing something without the expectations is the key to be an actual Sahyogi. So very well said. Is there something that you think we should have discussed about all of what we've discussed today and we've not?
I think you'd be very comprehensive. I don't think I've spoken for an hour without non-stop. I no, we touched on most things in the ways that I've contributed. I hope it's of value to anyone who spends time listening. I can tell you, people's time is very precious. So unless you hear me on speak too, I think you've covered it all. I think love your family, love your country, love your people, be there, be your friends. The world would be a much nicer place. Don't divide. Don't divide based on anything. Otherwise, those barriers never go up.
And of all these learnings, if you want people who are listening to us to take one thing away from all of this conversation, what would that one thing be?
Be the change you want to see. Come and join. Come and talk to me whenever you want.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I think we've got a lot of golden nuggets today. So thank you, Shweta ji, for sharing your journey so openly with us.
Thank you very much, Ashish.
Leadership is not about expectation, it's about giving back, it's about family, it's about well being, it's about managing your schedule really well and be the change around you. So focus around you first, and then you bring the change further on in the world. That's where City of Ride is very lucky to have you. I'd like to thank 24 Pods and Alka Satpati, and because of their support, we've made this happen. And my final thanks to Deepak Chauhan, who has been an immense supporter, the person behind all of this. And I can't even imagine how he does all of this in one go. So apparently, I need him on this seat as well one day. But and thank you to all of you who are listening to us.